my thoughts on the market, which are always accurate and definitely helpful. Bitcoin has been around 60k and above for the last day and a half or so. That was the last chance to ever get Bitcoin below 60k above, which means it has to be accurate. Funny enough, whenever he says random things, sometimes they're true, sometimes they aren't, but they're more true than not. And the last few times he declared Bitcoin to go up, it happened. Therefore, he must be right if his gut feeling tells him so. And I wouldn't be surprised, as it has been almost 6 months since we reached all-time high, that it's finally time to break out and to be interesting again. Because I can tell you in the past 6 months, whenever this is just wobbling around and not doing a lot, it gets pretty boring. So the developers behind Bitcoin probably say, okay, it's time to make the price go up, simple as that. Now when that happens, everything else follows and then new narratives. For the past week or so, I've seen a bunch of people trading memes on Tron, on TRX. And while I'm not a meme trader anymore, I simply buy Bitcoin and hold it because I can tell you, 99% of people will not outperform the market. So what makes me think that I'm the 1%? If you want to get into memes, look into the whole Tron ecosystem. So if you use sites like DexTools or DexScreeners, go onto Tron and look at all the different memes that are being pushed right now that get insane returns. We also have SunSwap integrated up here already, and you can see based on demand, I waited 30 seconds for this is still loading. All the guys that usually trade garbage on Solana are now moving over to Tron to trade garbage there. So if you're into garbage, Tron is probably your best bet for now. Now the top 10, 20, probably 50 memes are still on Ethereum or Solana, but Sundog, for example, which went to 200 mil, only launched a week ago. And whenever there's hype, there are a lot of people that copy the hype and follow. Which means if Sundog is the biggest one on Tron, there will be a lot of similar stuff that is going to be launched this week, next week, the week after, that is going to perform similar to it. And in case memes aren't for you, then you might like Aevo. Aevo is the first derivatives layer 2 focused on options and perpetual trading, which I already mentioned last week. On the site, which is brought to you by the team behind Ribbon Finance and is backed by the best investors in the space like Paradigm, Coinbase, Dragonfly and more, it allows you, without KYC, signing up takes probably like 10 seconds, connecting a wallet, that's it. It allows you to trade options, perpetuals, and strategies all in one place. Which means if you don't really want to trade memes, but you still want to trade, and you need an exchange, but you don't like the whole KYC procedure, this is great for you. Plus, they have a couple ongoing challenges right now, where you could, for example, trade the Swell token to qualify for the Swell airdrop. Which means if you trade anyways, and let's say you're good at trading, buying, selling, swing trading, whatever you like to do, then this offers you the option, and I guess chance, to get rewarded for the trading that you do anyways. And I always like to think, especially when it comes to crypto, as that is an option fairly often, if you already do something, whether it's you browse Twitter and you have an extension that collects the data and rewards you in return, or you browse the web and you have an extension for that or wallet that gives you additional benefits for doing things you do anyways, or you stake stable coins and then you get money on your money. There's always an option to get rewarded additionally for something you would do anyways. Which means if you trade, you can use Aevo to get additional airdrops or tokens you would buy and sell regardless. While there are a lot of details behind it in the white paper and the documents page, all we need to know is that in order to be eligible to participate in the airdrop, you have to be an Aevo staker, and silver tier stakers will gain access to airdrops. What does that mean? For the different tiers in here, from bronze to silver, gold, platinum, diamond, you have to stake the token in order to qualify. Which means if you stake 101 tokens, which right now would be at a price of about $12, give or take, then you already qualify to trade and to get additional benefits. Now, the more you trade and the more you have deposited in here, you get a base multiplier. So if you would normally get, let's say, $10 worth as an airdrop, you can get $15, you can get up to 50 or even more with the perks that you unlock. Now, why do we talk about this? The reason is simple. When it comes to most exchanges out there, they want you to sign up with your real name, they collect all your data, all your trading history, and they don't really give you benefits in return, they just have access to more tokens. But on Aevo, you can do anything you like. You can stay anonymous and also get rewarded in return for that. Link is down below. It has a lot of upsides and I think you guys will like it. What you might also like is anything that has to do with AI, especially in the past week, as we are up 10 to 20% across the board, if not more if we scroll further down. Now, it doesn't take a genius to think that whenever Bitcoin pumps, anything AI focused pumps as well. So you could have bought anything in here and will probably be up by about 20% since then. Now, for some of the nodes and the tokens that they have, the Lysium, for example, despite lots of people unlocking their tokens on a daily basis and trading that, selling it, they have more inflow than outflow at the moment, which still keeps the price steady and going up. Now, if you bought a Elysium node before, I think you make about $2 to $3 a day right now. And at the peak of over 60 cents, you made up to $10 a day per note. Now the notes right now, they sell at like 2.7, 2.8K. But if you want to have something that is, I would say, future-proof, as they are really focused on AI right now, and they release more and more things with more partners being announced, and they have this entire time and budget now in order to build more and more, this is still a node I would consider looking into and getting more of, or at least getting one if you haven't done so yet. If we go back to all-time high and beyond, which shouldn't be that difficult, or we hit $1, then the return on investment period would be 3 months, 4 months. And if you don't buy the node and sell the tokens daily, which wouldn't make that much sense, then you could simply accumulate tokens right now, which is something I do for Delysium, for Maria, and for a couple other projects, because I believe it's not difficult to go back to all-time high. And just because of price fluctuation since last all-time high when Bitcoin hit 72K, I don't think it's that hard to go back, if not beyond, with all the work they've been doing in the meantime. So for that, even though it feels a bit weird to buy a node and it takes like 3 years in order to get your return on investment currently, because the price is going to go up most likely, your future self is going to be happy if you got one. Now it doesn't have to be any of the two mentioned, it's for like nodes in general and projects that keep building, that have a token that is already launched, but it's something to keep in mind for sure. If I were to give you not financial advice very quick on what I personally buy and hold, then I will draw you this circle. It's a pretty square circle, but you never know. Could get worse. My normal exposure last bull run used to be like 5% Bitcoin and 95% altcoins. But you know what happens when this one goes down? Altcoins go down a lot. They go down here where you can't even see it. And that was not the best strategy. We're now in the business of wealth preservation and slowly growing it because we learned something, we're smarter. And current exposure is 40 to 50% Bitcoin at any given time. This much for me in nodes and passive income. This is mostly because I have 3 Maria nodes and like 7 or 8 Delysium nodes. So you know they make up a huge chunk already. Plus all the other small node projects that count into this one as well. But this is for passive income, just so I don't have to do anything and get tokens and money in return, and I like that quite a lot. And then we have like 25% in alts. Maybe like 5% of that is memes, but the majority of that is simply real world assets, DPIN, and all the boring stuff that builds the infrastructure. I'm a big fan of TokenFi. I've been holding this token since it went down a lot. Like I bought it here, I held it until here and I didn't sell, which might have been a good idea. And it's going up and down ever since. But I think this is going to make a big comeback. Simply because it's the team behind Floki. They built a ton, have insane partnerships that are being lined up. And with all the big companies out there and hedge funds that have trillions of dollars that say tokenization of real world assets is going to be the next big thing until 2030, this is super early. So I hold the token for the simple reason of not selling it until like 2030. And let's say that's completely wrong and this one goes down even more and they fully dilute this pool and this one becomes worthless. Well, then most of my money is still in nodes and Bitcoin, so don't risk more than 30, I would say, don't risk more than 60% of your money. Because let's say you have $10,000 and you lose 6, you still have 4. But if you gamble with 90% and it goes to basically 0, and you're left with like $1,000 or $1,500, that kinda sucks. So find your pain threshold so it doesn't hurt too much if you lose all the money. And those are my thoughts on crypto. I will see you guys probably tomorrow with a video on, I don't know what I release, but something that is probably worth watching. At least I hope so. Don't forget to click on the links down below. Everything in here should be free to use. And if not, I gotta tell you that it's not financial advice. And until next video, take care.